of smoke in the sky. Beer in my hand, whole Squawville and fly. Sauce on my shirt, don't care how it look. Trying every pit, every trailer, every cook. Sun go down, but we still don't quit. 5 pit nights, yeah, we all get.
Hey everybody, welcome to the PigFest podcast, here from the Wise Guys and Gals podcast room, which is also the home of Tennessee Pool Supply and EXS Group here in Hendersonville. My name is Andy Gilley. I'm the Parks Director for the city of Hendersonville, and we're excited to bring you the next few weeks a behind-the-scenes look at all things PigFest. PigFest is a barbecue festival held in Hendersonville, Tennessee that involves music, our community, and gives away literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to charities. And we are excited to bring a behind-the-scenes look. We're going to talk about barbecue. We're going to talk to some of our nonprofit partners. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about it all. And I'm excited to be here today and talk to my good friend, Kenny Burd, who is what I would call the godfather of PigFest. He's like the Marlon Brando of PigFest, the Tony Soprano of PigFest, all the behind-the-scenes things that he does for PigFest and our community. We couldn't do this without him. So we thought it would be best the first day to just come on here and let us introduce ourselves and tell why this is so much of a passion for us. And Kenny, I just would like to start by saying thank you for all that you have done for this event. It started out in 2000 out of necessity because a lot of us were trying to help Christmas for kids, make sure that 400 kids had a Christmas. And it was like 7 barbecue teams in a parking lot, and your company was one of the sponsors. And from there, it has grown into something that I don't think either one of us could have imagined. And it's become a passion. I know for you, it is for me and my wife and the people that work on this, but thank you for what you've done. But I would just like to start and kind of say, tell everybody here why it's so important to you and why it's so good for our community.
When we cooked in the first one that you're talking about with the 7 teams, I still was an owner of a company, and we realized that we had members of our team that loved to cook, that was really good at it. We went out there with the intent of making that a great company event. And the first one we cooked in, I don't remember, if I remember correctly, 30 to 40 of our employees actually showed up, maybe a few less or a few more, I don't know exactly. But we had so much fun. And I remember thinking, you know, once I sold the company and realized that you know, you and I had collaborated and started getting to know each other, that with your knowledge of events and parks and your wife's knowledge of barbecue, I had attended barbecue festivals that your wife was a part of on First Avenue years back.
You're saying you knew my wife before I did?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So, and I hate that for you, but it's fine for me. So anyways, I have spent my whole life building things, and I love to build things. And I had sold the company in 21 and basically made a pact that we all went to dinner. We all went to dinner downtown, and all of the charities were there. And I remember saying, hey, you know, if y'all are in, I'm in. And I needed something to do, and it didn't necessarily have to be for money. I just wanted to build something. I live here. You know, I've lived here in between Madison, Gillisville, and Hendersonville my whole life. I was born and raised here. My community means everything to me. It just does. I mean, I drive on the same streets as everybody else, right? All my children, you know, went to Sumner County schools. I would do it all over again. I love everything about this community. And Sumner County has been good to me, and I want to be good back. So here we are. So
I think this is our way of giving back. It's a lot of people's way of giving back.
100%.
People ask me all the time, what is a pig fest, or what is a pig fest? And I just tell them it's our take on a barbecue festival. They're all different. Every barbecue competition has its own little intricacies. Ours is based on, I think, if I had to put it in words, we have 3 days of community events. We involve barbecue, we involve music, and we try to make sure that there is something for everybody. And I laugh all the time because if you can't find something to do at PigFest, I feel bad for you, because there is literally something for everybody. What would you say if you had to describe it to somebody? What would you say? What is a PigFest?
PigFest is exactly what a community is supposed to look like. And what I mean by that is over the 3 days, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it doesn't matter if you are 8 years old or you're 80 years old, something at PigFest you can relate to and have fun. You know, these pig races that we talk about is the number what you do these surveys, you know, that you do. And every year the pig races is up there, number 1 or 2. You know, the steak dinner on Thursday night now has become very high up there. And I tell people all the time, people ask me about success of PigFest, and I say, look, here's the deal. We don't have a board. You know, we work direct hand in hand with Holiday Fest, which is a huge thing for us to help us, enable us to do this. We know where every penny that comes in comes from, and we know where every penny that goes out goes, down to the penny. And so with us not having a board, with it just being me and you and a group of people that are willing to jump in and help, it's become magical. And for me, it's so odd. You know, I've got multiple companies that I still own. I'm more worried about PigFest than my own companies, and it's very odd to be that way, but it's just how I feel about it. I mean, I know what's in my heart, right? And you know, when I sit there on Saturday under our tent, you know, our cook tent over there, and we're in the corner, so we kind of see everything. You know, we're able to see it all. And I watch all these kids just having fun, and I watch adults having fun, and I see people collaborating and hugging that hadn't seen each other, you know, and they stand and talk and all that. It makes it all worthwhile for me. And it's become our friends and family event. I mean, for good Lord, we have a living room set up over in the grass. I mean, we set up shop over there, and we love it. We look forward to it all year. And I think, you know, we've got a few other things that we're doing, the Thursday lunch club and these other things. And anytime that PigFest is brought up, PigFest was brought up at the Ducks Unlimited event Saturday night. There's 400 people there, and Shannon got up and talked about PigFest, and everybody clapped. That warmed my heart because people love PigFest. And when you put music and barbecue and just great family fun together, there's just everybody's in a win-win there. So that's how I feel about it.
I think it's exactly what it came along for me personally. I think at a time when I was getting married and starting a little family of our own there.
Yep.
For me and my wife, it's something that we both can do together, just like your family can do together.
Sure.
But we know that it came along at a time when our community might have needed it more than ever. Right after COVID.
And yes, for sure. The COVID thing was just, it was horrible for our country. It was horrible for our children, for all of us, right? And I mean, so, you know, it's just, there's just nothing bad. I mean, I tell people all the time, they're saying, you know, well, what's the good and the bad? Well, I talked about the good with the pig races and the steak dinner and all the other things that go along. But here's been our major complaint for 2 years in a row. You run the study, and that means a lot to me because that's what people think. You know, that's what you want to hear is feedback, right? The 2 years in a row that we didn't have enough trash cans was the biggest complaint. If that's the only complaint that we're having at PigFest, that we didn't have enough trash cans available, I'm pretty sure that we're moving in the right direction. And,
I agree.
And the fact that Diamond Rio, Jesse Keith Whitley, Eric Blankenship, you know, them kind of people, you know, Fiddleman Tim, them kind of people are willing to do it. The Oak Ridge Boys in the past, Kentucky Headhunters, you know, them kind of people right there to get involved, them are worldwide known people, right? I mean, they're known all over the world. And so for them to do that, Jeff Jarrett Wrestling, just all of it. Yeah, I mean, you know, we have been able to take something and put every walk of life together, and just it works. And there's never been any. You and I, people don't even realize that this is an year thing for you and I. I mean, we talk every day. We're always trying to figure out how to make it better. And I think that is one of the keys to success is that we're willing to stay open-minded about what people want. And we care about what people want. And we want PigFest to be the largest barbecue cook-off for charity around. But here's the thing for me, and I'm a businessman, so I'm always a bottom line guy. The bottom line for me is how much money we give back to these charities. That's what I view as success for PigFest. And it's very important for me for every penny that can be donated, as much of that to go back. And so, it's a major cost to do what we do, right? Sure. And we know that, right? So, for me, I love the fact when we'll bring up the Catch. We'll use them for an example right now. The Catch is a restaurant that I absolutely love. I do a lot of business there. They're wonderful, but they literally donate the food for Thursday night for 400 people. And on top of that, they give a huge check to sponsor. That right there, for me, the fact that they're willing to donate their time, their product, and their money is like, it's just unheard of. It's unheard of. The rental place, they donate their products. And they're, and I mean, people that are helping with stuff like that.
Well, just the hat on your head came from the local here in Hendersonville, Jeff Reed.
I eat at the local at least once a day, 7 days a week, either lunch or dinner. It's not a big Jeff Reed is another one. I mean, Gene at Main Street, we can just keep on going. I mean, these local places that are helping PigFest, it's amazing. This year, every time that I see Keb from Gary Force Acura, can do nothing but hug him and tell him how much I appreciate. He doesn't even have a dealership in Sumner County, and yet he's going to be the main sponsor of PigFest, and he doesn't even have a company up here. That's the kind of stuff right there that warms my heart and makes me work harder to want this to be bigger and better. And, these sponsors that give their hard-earned money to us, it's priceless for me. It's priceless.
Well, a lot of them, if you look through the list, a lot of them are small businesses, not many corporate places. I think in the years that we've been doing this, our friend Barry Lee with Dude Wipes, that may be our only really corporate sponsor. Yep. That's a national brand. And that's a big deal to have a corporate sponsor. Yep. Means a lot. Yep. But it means a lot that all these people, 90 last year, we've already up to 52 sponsors this year, who are putting their hard-earned money back into our community because they know that the causes are that needed and valid.
I tell you, talking about a number, since you brought it up, it's funny because this judge situation, it's mind-boggling to me if I have a PigFest hat on, which I wear typically, but I love Jeff's hat too. But people will come up to me and go, "Oh, talk about PigFest. Well, we judged. We've already signed up again. We've signed up again." And people don't realize that we need 300 judges for 50 teams because there's 4, 5, 6 categories. That's a lot of food. And we that's one of the things that we've had to learn along the way, right? Is we thought we could get by with 50, 60 judges, and everybody came to us like, we can't do this. We can't eat anymore. No. So we, so when you put the judge thing out and we got 285 judges in a quick fashion, that told me that we are doing everything the right way as far as a community building event. And that's what I have always envisioned since the night we all went downtown and had a meeting about it community. There's so much division in the world. And I say this all the time about sports. It's amazing to me that 70 or 75,000 people can pile into the Titan Stadium and high-five each other and love each other and then walk outside and hate each other as soon as they get back out the street. It's just a true story.
Especially if you're a Raiders fan.
Well, if you're, or a Broncos or a Ravens or any of them, or Jaguars or Colts or whatever. But the point of it is this is a 3-day event where we want everybody to come and just let the world, leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Leave the news behind. Leave the social media behind. Leave it all behind. Just come and enjoy yourself. And that's, for me, that when I see kids laughing and playing and I see people walking their dogs and things like that. For me, that does it all for me right there. It's I'm gonna cry if I ain't careful.
Well, you can't
I
do
didn't
that.
even know that I could
Episode
do that.
1, I don't think we're supposed to cry.
I'm sorry. But anyways, I can't say enough good things about the Hendersonville Parks Department. And I know that's you. I know you're the leader of that, but still, your team is amazing. I have worked hand in hand with them for 3 or 4 or 5 years now. And I can tell you that every single one of them treat that event like it's their event. And for that alone, for me to see that it's very heartwarming. Hendersonville Police, they're there. Hendersonville Fire is there. The parks are there. When you Sumner County EMS, yes. And if I'm leaving somebody out, trust me, I'm not trying to. But when you see all walks of life come together in one place, because I say this all the time, we all have a job. We all have a job to do, right? And it's what makes the world go round. You may be in government, you may be in private business, you may be in charity, you may be here, but you know what? We all drive on the same roads, which you have said. I picked that up from you, which is a very valid statement, by the way. We all go to the same grocery stores. We all go to the same churches. We all eat at the same restaurants, so why not put an event together where we can all congregate together and do something great back for the people that are less fortunate. And, we're sitting here in this building here, and right behind us, if you walked out the back door, you can see Grace Place being built right here. And I'm a huge supporter of Grace Place. Big, and love Dee and her mission. Always have and always will. Christmas for Kids, what are we talking about, the 80s?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? 40 years?
40 longest running charity in Hendersonville.
I don't know what else.
My knowledge.
That speaks for itself. And then for me, Rachel and Tommy McCauley, they lost a child, and that's why Mary's Magical Playground stands where it stands. And I drive up 386, and I see kids out there playing and having fun from every kind of walk of life, from special needs to every which way else, from all walks of life. I don't know how that. I don't have a choice but to get behind that. I have to. I don't have a choice.
I mean, a good old preacher friend of ours from way back used to say, if that don't wet your wood, your wood's wet, or something. I don't even know what the quote was, but it's something like that. But if that doesn't fire you up, we've thrown a lot of numbers around. We've talked about 90 sponsors. We've talked about 300 judges. Mm-hmm. All told, it probably takes about 500 volunteers that come together to do this 3-day event. 3 charities: Grace Place, Christmas for Kids, and Mary's Magical Place. Mm-hmm. That last year we were able to give back $74,000 to nonprofits. Our goal this year is $100,000. To do that, you got to have, just like I said, 500 volunteers, 50 barbecue teams, entertainment, all the things that got to come together in 3 days to give back that much to our community, and it's powerful.
Yes.
When you sit there and you watch people coming in with their families and having a good time, or you're watching wrestling or eating a steak dinner or listening to a concert or eating a funnel cake, watching college football, you're on a golf simulator, watching a live pig race, you're in the kid zone, pickleball. This year we have added a golf tournament. There are so many things for everybody. There are people that come to PigFest, I think, that don't even speak to each other all year long, but they end up having a good time at the same event.
100%.
That's a fact.
And that's the part that I love the most about all of it. And here's the thing. When you start talking about, let's talk about the last 2 years previous, Liberty Creek softball team that's won the state 2 years. They have come and they have donated their time to help us. The Citizens Police Academy comes and helps us, park cars and do all the things. And I'm sure there's other, I know that Dee from Grace Place and the Kids for Christmas people, they come and volunteer, and I'm sure that there's other groups that are volunteering that I'm probably missing. But here's the thing is, when you see a high school softball team, and then you see high school students that may want to become a police officer, here, and you see people like that jumping in to help. And the thing with it is we as adults, we want our children to see good things. Always. You were a school teacher. You were an educator prior to becoming the parks director. Obviously, mentoring and moving kids in the right direction is something that you're passionate about, been doing your whole life. I have been giving to charities forever. And FCA, St. Jude, and on and on and on. And I love helping. I love it. And I love to see a community the size of Hendersonville and beyond jump in and just all jump in together and just jump in there with us and help. I mean, every time that I hear something positive or see something positive about PigFest, it makes me know that I'm doing the right thing, that we're doing the right thing, right?
Can you remember a time when somebody had no idea that you had anything to do with PigFest, came up to you and started talking about it in a good way?
Many times still to today.
Yeah.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. And I, it's so funny because
I mean, for me, I wear the hat. I go out to eat, or I'm sitting by myself at a restaurant, and somebody will say, "Man, that's a cool hat. I sure do love PigFest." They're like, "Have you ever been?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been a time or two." I've been.
Typically by Saturday afternoon, I am so delirious from meeting and talking to people. I just want to go, just go somewhere and hide and sleep. But I can tell you that just the sheer volume, people don't even realize now. I talk to barbecue guys that are on the professional circuit, right? Mm-hmm. And we do have some of them teams that come and see. This is what people don't understand is, this is a competition. So some of these guys will compete 10, 12, 15 times a year, some a couple, some none. It's that's what makes it beautiful is that you can have a backyard guy. Matter of fact, a backyard guy last year won ribs, right? I mean, he owns a business here in Sumner County, and he won it may be Robertson, I don't know. Anyways, he's in White House. Yeah. But the point of it is so, it lets people come. There's a lot of people that like to grill. We've got Weber Grill Guy, the grandson of Weber Grills that I met through some close friends. And Ben comes from Wisconsin every year. He's brought Weber into a little bit of it. Weber's a worldwide name, but Ben's grandfather started that thing in the garage, and now, with obviously it's worldwide, but Ben, he cancels. He told me this year that him and his wife were invited to one of his cousin's weddings. Said, "I can't come. I got to go to PigFest." I mean, when you hear stuff like that right there, you're like, whoa, so, that's the thing is people don't even realize how many states we're representing now. I mean, there's people from multiple states coming to this thing. I mean, Memphis in May is considered the Super Bowl of barbecue, and I've been told by multiple people that compete in Memphis in May that PigFest is talked about at Memphis in May. And that right there, I mean, that's very impressive and heartwarming.
I think anytime I'm anywhere and it comes up, there's not one person that talks about it that hasn't had a good time when they've come.
Yeah.
I think that's our biggest thing. Besides giving the money to charity, we want everybody to come and have a good time and make this something that our whole community can get behind.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking 15 to 17,000 people last year over 3 days. I mean, that's an impressive number. I mean, for just this little thing that you and I met with about, and I really do believe that them numbers will top 20,000 maybe this year, and it always depends on the weather. We talk about it all the time. I start watching the weather right now, and it isn't until October.
Yeah, I don't think they got a long range forecast.
Well, I know, but
yet.
I'm still looking at it. I look at it every day. So, that's the thing is we've been very fortunate and blessed. We've had a little cold, we've had it hot. We as long as it doesn't rain, we can deal with the cold or the hot. There was one year it was freezing outside. Yeah. I mean, we froze. Yeah. Matter of fact, got in trouble by the fire department for starting a fire out there we wasn't supposed to start. But
thanks to Hendersonville Fire Department.
Well, you know what? It's fine. So I told them, I said, we didn't know, we won't do it again. So. But
there's other ways to keep warm.
Put more clothes on, obviously. So, but no, I tell you, I'm very appreciative of the city, to collaborate with us, for the departments that collaborate with us, and I mean, it's I use this terminology all the time is if everybody's winning, if everybody's in a win-win, nobody lost, and PigFest is just a win-win.
It really is
for everybody involved. I mean, and the fact for you that your wife, a lot of people don't know, and I know you're never going to say it because just who you are, but Janice and the team that was put together down there in Nashville, I went to that event a couple of years on First Avenue, years back, years and years, and I can tell you right now, that was a massive event, massive. And to be honest with you, that event would still be happening today if the city of Nashville hadn't have made a move it off First Avenue.
I agree.
It worked on First Avenue, and people, and I can't even imagine what it would look like now if it was on First Avenue with Nashville booming like it is on Broadway. I
think it was ahead of its time. It was all the things that go on down there now, where they close down the roads, have no problem shutting down the streets and having the big stages up. That event was ahead of its time, and we're probably the beneficiary of it not happening.
Well, you know what? Maybe so. I remember one year we went by boat, and we just walked right up into the middle of it, by boat, and that was the first year that I went, and I was just like, wow. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, and so the fact that it years later, Janice, you and her get married, and y'all's love for music and y'all's ties to music, y'all have a lot of ties, and then her knowledge of barbecue with Brian Hamilton. I've worked with Brian Hamilton for years and years and years as a civil engineer, done a whole lot of jobs with Brian, and for Brian to volunteer and do drone shots, and that's what nobody understands is we have made a pact with everybody, but especially the McCauley family, that we would never move PigFest because Mary's Magical. It's kind of
that's why it started.
It's why it started, and I say this a lot, and I mean this. You can never forget where you come from. You can't forget where you come from. And I have people that's the one thing that I've heard more than anything about PigFest. When are y'all gonna have to move it? We're not going to move it. We're going to keep hiring civil engineers or getting civil engineers to volunteer, not hire, but to come up and to drone shoot it and us use every inch of the property that we have over there. And it's working. It's working. Last year I was standing with a couple of police officers talking, and they got the call that cars was parking in people's houses. And I thought, back in the old days, back when you went to the fairgrounds down there to the flea market,
sold them $10.
They charge you $10 a spot, And I thought, well, you know what? If I lived on that road right there, whatever that road's called, I might charge $20 a head, whatever.
Inflation.
It's cheaper than downtown, right? So, but no, I don't. It's such a. There's not a day of the year that goes by where I don't think about PigFest, and I don't think about what we can do to do better, what we can do to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that every single person that walks through there and leaves has nothing but great thoughts and great vibes about it. And that's
I think this time of year, especially, we're like right now, I think we're 80 days away or something
right.
As we sit here today, and we celebrate little small wins. Hey, so-and-so is donating $500. Right. That's awesome.
Right.
Hey, so-and-so said they're bringing this. That's awesome. It all adds up together. And I want people that are watching this to understand, I don't care if you got $5 or you got 50,000. You're taking the time to give back and help us out is something that we appreciate and will not ever forget. That, just like you said.
The one thing for sure is that these three charities that we're donating back to, every penny counts for them. It counts. Mm-hmm. I mean, where we as typical whatever take for granted certain things, it's important to them, right? It's important to them. $5 may be trivial to some people, but $5 to them, they can do something with $5.
Well, I can tell you $5. Christmas for Kids is a good example. If you've ever volunteered and you've taken the kids on a tour bus and you take them into Walmart, they get $200 to shop. Those kids, a lot of them, $5 would mean to some of them that they can buy their sister a pair of socks. $200, one kid. So all those things add up.
And that's why that it's very important for me to do everything I can possibly do to beat that $100,000 goal, because I realize that every $5 counts. And you know, it's a big undertaking. Anybody that's ever done an event understands. Anybody that's ever had a party at their house understands how much work it is. I mean, this thing right here, people don't even have a clue. And I'll say this, and I'll just be straight honest with it about it. My job is a joke compared to yours. I wouldn't trade with you. I don't think I'd be capable of doing what you do. And that's just at the end of the day, it's just the truth. I don't think people quite understand that there could be, and I'm guessing you may have analytics on it, I don't know, but I'd have to believe that all of the parks in the city of Hendersonville, which there's a lot, because there's lake parks, you're dealing with the core, there's just, people don't even realize how much volume of parks there is. I'd have to believe that there's at least 1 million people that go through your parks in a year. I believe that. And so when you have that sheer volume of people, that's a lot to manage. That's a lot to undertake. It's a lot to deal with. So for the fact that you can do that with a team that you have, and then still take the time to do the other events that you do. I mean, PigFest is not the only event you literally, you're a parks director, but really an event coordinator on top of it. You're kind of all boiled into one, right? And so, you know, my part is pretty easy. You know, I go out and tell people a little bit about it, and, you know, ask them for some money, and, you know, give them my word. And I'm a man of my word that, you know, that we will be good stewards with their money and make sure that it gets put exactly where it needs to go. And that's what we do. But your job compared to mine, it's not, it's apples to oranges. And I know what you do. I see what you do.
I appreciate that.
And
I wouldn't want to trade with you either.
Well,
we're not up for trades.
Trust me, don't nobody want to be me. So
before we get out of here on episode 1, just to let everybody know again, PigFest, October 22nd through 24th, 2026, at Veterans Park. We will have 3 days. We will have on Thursday steak dinner and auction. There will be probably 100 silent auction items, live auction with Homes by Huber doing it. If you've never been to an auction run by Barry Huber, that's a event in and of itself. We will have Jeff Jarrett's All-Star Super Slam coming back. It's Jeff's 40th year in the business, and he's committed to putting a great event on again. We'll get into that later on in some of these episodes. Friday night, we'll have Diamond Rio, Jesse Keith Whitley, Eric Blankenship, Tim Watson, a young girl from Texas, Juliana Rankin, that's signed to Miranda Lambert's album, and DJ Cliffy D. They're going to be having the music. After party at the local on Friday, and then if you're still have any energy left, the main event Saturday, 50 barbecue teams from all over the Southeast coming in, competing for thousands of dollars in prizes, with events going on for the whole family throughout the day, including the live pig races, which are the hardest thing to book for the whole event. We have to schedule that a year in advance, basically, which leads me to, I want to do a little Q&A to wrap it up. So my first question is, how much money have you won or lost on a pig race? Not that you were gambling. I'm just saying maybe you won or lost money.
Well, the 4 pigs never come in, so I haven't won. So that answers your question. So I'll leave the monetary value out of it, but I can just tell you that I've been on the 4 pig every year, and the 4 pig ends up in 4.
It's time for you to go to the 3rd pig.
Well, I just, you know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so there you go. So
my next question: what is your favorite PigFest memory so far?
last year, we sitting
That you can say on the air.
I'm going to.
Okay.
So we're sitting in our living room over there in the grass, and it's me and Leah Borsay, which is the artist that does her paintings right behind us here. And anybody that doesn't know Leah's art, her art will be auctioned off at PigFest on Thursday night. She's wonderful. And then it was Candy Potter, my realtor, but Candy's a huge sponsor of PigFest, actually one of the main sponsors for Thursday night steak dinner. We're sitting there, and for some reason or another, the crowd kind of parted a little bit, and we could see a direct shot of the wrestling ring. And all of a sudden, a little person goes flying through the air.
How little?
Real little. And so Candy looked at me and said, "We need to pray." and run and got on the bus. And I don't know, I typically, well, I love to laugh and I love to have fun, but I couldn't quit laughing. And Leah looked at me and said, "I'll never forget this moment." And I said, "Me neither." And so anyways, that was one of my best moments right there.
Well, I think that was probably the same time that I was in a separate part, but saw the same thing happen. And the smaller micro wrestler, we'll call it, jumped through the air, landed on the asphalt, and I looked at everybody and I said, "Oh no, I think we've killed a micro wrestler." And I said, "We got to check our insurance policy."
Yeah.
But he got up, he bounced right up. It was 25 cents.
I can tell you that Jeff Jarrett brings a whole new twist
So
to PigFest.
good way to put it.
And the fact that Jeff Jarrett is born and raised here, he's raised his family here. I actually graduated with Jeff's late wife Jill. Thought that she was one of the most awesome people I'd ever been around. She was a beautiful woman inside and out, and I got to talk about that with Jeff last year. He didn't know that, and so for Jeff to be there and jump in to help us it's just, all of this stuff's priceless for me. So
Last thing, my favorite barbecue memory is looking over at your team, Shackle Island Smoke, and seeing every police officer at the whole event over there eating the whole time.
Yeah.
Y'all feed everybody. You feed hundreds of people.
People don't even realize that we feed every person that walks in that gate on Saturday. We do it. We've been doing it. It's the part that we love the most. Don't get me wrong. Our cook team, Shackle Island Smoke, would love to win, right? But when you're 50, 55 teams, I mean, you got to be on. I mean, you're up against some stiff competition. So my favorite part, besides feeding everybody, is the fact that one of my main guy, Jeff Potter, that is the master chef. His son beat us last year, and for me, that is the best thing that could have ever happened for me, ever. As a matter of fact, there's not many days that go by through the year that I don't remind him that we got beat by his son. So, so, anyways, that's another one of my favorite memories. So,
if anybody ever want to know how the true heart of Kenny Burd, it's what a guy to see that your best friend is getting beat by his son, and that's your favorite memory from our big event.
I love his son too, obviously, right?
Man, Kenny, again, thank you for what you do, what you mean to me as a friend, but what you do for this event and our community. People have been asking you for a long time. Not me. They've been asking you for a long time, when you going to do a podcast? They probably didn't think it's going to be about PigFest, so maybe we'll get into another topic or two after October, but I think this is going to be cool to give people a behind the scenes of what goes on and bring some of our charities on and talk about our sponsors and let people know this is coming fourth weekend of October 22nd through 24th. You can go to pigfesttn.com. Tickets for the concert, the steak dinner, all that's on sale right now. Saturday is totally free to the public to come. That's a big deal. And you can get all the information there, and we can't wait to see everybody, and we hope to see you next week when we come back with episode 2 of the PigFest podcast from the Wise Guys and Gals podcast room.
Pulled up to PigFest, yeah, the smoke in the sky. Beer in my hand, whole Squawville and fly.